Hi, my name is Charlie McGrath. I'm the founder of WideAwakeNews.com and a host on the Rinse Radio Network. Bruce Colville, author Bruce Colville, wrote, "Withholding information is the essence of a tyranny. Control of the flow of information is the tool of a dictatorship." Yesterday, a Senate panel voted 13-5 to determine the definition and eventually turn into law what the definition of a journalist is. When a government is so afraid of the truth, so afraid of its people standing up and speaking the truth, that it is willing to legislate and legalize the definition of a journalist or the definition of an agency that can report the news, you better understand that we're no longer in any sort of free republic. We don't even resemble a free republic. We're far down the path towards tyrannical dictatorship. Now, what does this Senate panel say a journalist is? Somebody who has been one for a year in the last 20, or has reported as a journalist for 3 months in the last 5 years. The key is in the language. These people must work for a news disseminating entity. Now, I'm assuming it's the government who gets to decide who is a worthy news disseminating entity. Over the last several years, I've met scores of people, if not hundreds, that were not afraid to report the truth, who were not afraid to stand up and be a whistleblower, who were not afraid to give their opinion on government policy, both domestic and foreign. These people do not apply. They would not be considered a journalist by Dianne Feinstein or Jeff Sessions, who both think that a journalist is something that they should be able to define. Jeff Sessions doesn't think that this legislation goes far enough. He says the definition is too broad. And to quote Dianne Feinstein, this is a test set up to see who is a bona fide journalist or not. She goes on to say she recognizes anybody can call themselves a journalist, but they will do everything in their power to hold on to that power. And it's not because they're looking out for the people of this country. How are they doing the people's business, determining who can report the news and who can't? They're afraid of their own corruption. They're afraid of their own deception to the American people. This is why they want to legislate who can be a journalist and who cannot. The Syrian conflict that is now put on hold isn't put on hold because of establishment media sources. They were tripping over themselves to condemn Assad and to grab the status quo and report this as factual, to grab the agenda, to grab the propaganda of the day and report to the American people that it's time to go to war again. In large part, this was put on hold because of foreign media that challenged establishment media in this country and independent citizen journalists in this country who were not afraid to point out the obvious, who were not afraid to point out the truth. This is the information that Dianne Feinstein, I believe, and Jeff Sessions and other members of Congress who want to hold on to that power. This is the information that they are afraid of, and this is what they're willing to do absolutely anything, including waste your money and waste our time passing legislation to determine what kind of an entity can report the so-called truth and what kind of individual can be deemed a journalist to report this information. We are squarely on the path to tyrannical dictatorship, and Bruce Colville had it 100% right. Withholding information is the essence of tyranny. Controlling the flow of information is the tool of a dictatorship. Stories are attached. That's all I got. Gabe and Austin Rare Coins and Bullion have supported Wide Awake News since our beginning. And with everybody and their brother out there selling precious metals these days, Austin Rare Coin and Bullion's integrity and trustworthiness are truly second to none. If you're looking for honest advice in growing or protecting your wealth with precious metals, please do what so many Wide Awake News listeners have already done. Call Gabe Elton at Austin Rare Coins and Bullion, 800-928-6468, or visit them online, austincoins.com. Please, let's support those who support truth in independent media.